So we're all set up for our final step here. The one thing that I want to make sure is that only the two heads are turned on. So whatever you have turned on is going to project over to the new geometry. So I'm turning off all these eyeballs that kind of came over. So I just want the new topology and the head, which is the high-res head, turned on. So the only real difference here between these two is I put a little texture on the lips here. We'll probably replace it later because it's a little, the geometry is a little low res for this type of detail, but at least you'll see the projection come over. So I'm going to go back to the new topology. They're both turned on, and what you'll want to start doing is a project all at the first level, and then we'll keep subdividing until we have all the detail. Now inside subtool under project, a couple options that we want to think about. One is the distance, and this is going to be the main one we're really only going to play with. This is how far you want ZBrush to look for any details before it kind of gives up, and it's going to look outward and it's going to look inward as well. So if this number's too large, we'll end up seeing areas like the nose, lips, eyes, and ears kind of turn inside out on themselves. So let's put this value pretty high here. Let's do like 0.5, and I'm going to go ahead and hit project all. And if we turn off the high-res head, I see inside the eye a few places kind of turning inside out on itself. Let's hit Control D. I'm going to turn the high-res head back on, and I'm going to do a project all again. And let's turn that off. So you can kind of see some of this, weirdness that's happening inside. Here the lips are getting pulled inside out on themselves. These are the types of issues, and it can get worse than this, but that's the type of issues that I'm looking for. So I'm going to Z back, and let's go ahead and turn that head back on. And this time I'm going to put it to 0.02 again, and basically we want the lowest value that we can get and have projection still happen. So I'm going to project all, and I'm basically going to turn this on and off, and I'm looking at the eyes, I'm looking at the ears, nose, and mouth, and I'm not seeing any issues. So I'm going to hit Control D again, project all. Now if that value's too low, we could get plateaus, which I don't think I'm going to get. And if we look now, see how the corners of the mouth are all clean and look nice? So we've brought that value low enough that it's not looking past certain faces and pulling other ones that it shouldn't be. So all I would do from here is keep hitting Control D, turning the high-res back on, hit project all, and each one of these will take a little bit longer because we're dealing with more polygons. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the high-res head, and I'm going to look for any bad areas I need to fix. So inside the eyes here we're getting some, so I can just kind of smooth that out and continue on. I'm not too worried about interior of the eyes because we're never going to see them, but if I get the same issue around the corners of the mouth or anywhere else, I'd want to bring the distance lower before I continue down. So I'm going to hit Control D one more time. That subdivides it. So now we're at a little under 1 million polygons. I'm going to go ahead and turn on that high-res head, project all. And again, this is going to take a little longer because of the higher poly count. And this will be the last one I do so they don't take too long. Alright, so that one's done. I'm going to turn this off, look for errors, and again it's only happening inside the eyes. I can smooth that out. Nothing's happening in the corner of the mouth. And I'd say this almost looks as good as the high-res detail that I have on the other one. So let's jump to this head and turn this one off. So I could maybe subdivide one more time to get this detail exactly how it is in the high-res mesh. Once we had all that high-res detail transferred on, that's where we're going to start modeling on the new mesh, and we can actually delete the old head because we have old saves we can always go back to if we need that. So in the upcoming series, we're going to look at, what types of details and things we do to the mesh now that we have our new topology inside of ZBrush and we have all our old high-res detail projected over.